have seen the best, I have fought the best, and I've beaten the best. You can't hide from the dead man.
Undertaker, when that bell rings, I don't have a soul either.
Welcome to Last Match Standing, the podcast where we review, relive, and rank the 100 greatest wrestling matches of all time. As always, I'm Spencer.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Linton.
You know, I want you guys to know that that was the first time that I have done the intro without having to read what our catchphrase is.
Really?
Yeah, review, relive, and rank. I always forget the order. That was the first time.
Well, the order doesn't really matter, right? I mean, we do all those things no matter what order we do them in.
That's true, but 15 episodes in, I thought, why the hell not? Give it a go. That's
Why not? Why not?
I just figured I'd break out my Undertaker impression.
Well, I think you should, because just like that was my first time nailing the intro solo, this is our very first Undertaker match on the list of the 100 greatest of all time.
Yeah, how about that? So in celebration of SmackDown's big move to the Fox network on Friday nights, I thought we should cover one of the greatest matches in SmackDown history. And no, you may say, this match was not on SmackDown.
You would be correct.
But both of these guys cemented what it meant to be a SmackDown superstar. And this feud was probably pretty memorable for this match in particular is really important to SmackDown history.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it's really like this was from a SmackDown branded pay-per-view, you know.
Right.
So I think it totally counts.
It fits,
Yeah.
okay?
Well, yeah, I
it
mean-
fits. I've had a couple of drinks today, so this is going to be fun.
Well, what I think is interesting is pretty much once the brand split happened, Undertaker was like exclusive to SmackDown.
Yeah.
And Kurt Angle spent a lot of his time over there as well. He did go to Raw briefly and then come back to SmackDown and then went to ECW and then had a few DUIs and then left the company.
I didn't realize he left because of DUIs.
Well, that's not. I mean, that was a contributing factor.
Huh.
They were afraid he was going to die on their watch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I did hear that he had a tough time. And so when Angle left, he got some help, got better, and had a hell of a run in TNA.
Oh, absolutely.
Those first couple of years, he was kind of spiraling, but he was having great matches.
He was. I mean, Kurt Angle. He's already on the list.
Yeah, he's sitting at dead last on the list right now, 14th with Shane McMahon.
Well, he's not sitting at dead last. The best in the world is sitting at best last.
He's shitting at best last,
He
too.
is.
Yeah, he's shitting down there.
Sorry.
No, seriously, Angle is synonymous with greatness in the ring.
Yep.
I mean, I'm surprised that we don't have more. We're definitely going to have more later. There's a couple matches in particular. I know people have been clamoring for this tag team match, the Angle, Benoit, Rey Mysterio, Edge match. That's coming up, guys. It's got to be.
It has to.
So we'll definitely see a little bit more of Angle. We'll definitely see a little bit more of Taker. But I chose this match not only because I absolutely destroyed you guys in trivia,
Can we not discuss this, please?
but
How many points did you have? Do you remember?
Stop talking.
enough to win.
A lot more than us.
How many points did you have?
We had a combined. Paul combined. We had 3 points.
I'm going to put my sunglasses back on if we don't move.
If you haven't listened to the bonus episode, it is so. We had so much fun doing that. Thanks to Hope for putting all that together.
It was a
for us.
blast. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to call this out right now. There were no shenanigans on the game at all. Landon just knows more about the modern product than I do.
You know what the sad thing is that I listened back to it to, just to kind of, quality assurance type
We're
of
all
thing.
narcissists here. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's fine. And I still didn't know the answers to the questions.
That is pretty bad.
I remembered like three of them.
I was like, I don't know what the hell this is.
Granted, it was the three that I was beating myself up the most
Yeah.
for. A couple of them came up and you were mentioning people. I'm like, I don't even know who that is.
But you're absolutely right, Landon. By virtue of the slaughter in our trivia bonus episode, you did select from No Way Out, February 19th, 2006, from the First Mariner Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker for the World Heavyweight Championship.
So it's interesting for me thinking back on Undertaker's return in 2004, they had buried, literally, the American Badass. It was done in 2003, and Taker did not want to come back as the Phenom. He loved the freedom that he had to be himself and to do more things in the ring, to be a little bit more diverse in what he was able to do. Whereas he felt that if you're stuck in this Phenom persona, you've got to be slow and meticulous and intimidating.
But he had the best matches of his career when he came back.
This match in particular is a testament to his ability to be multidimensional as the Phenom.
Yeah. Completely agree. If you watch this as sort of a one-off and you're not even familiar with like the feud itself or whatever it may be, you watch this and you think, this is a side of Undertaker that I don't know if I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think at this point, because he had been back for 2 years as Phenom, he wasn't really having these faster-paced matches like this. And he sure as hell was not selling like he sells in this match. He still played the zombie no-sell gimmick, and he was slow, lumbering dead man. So it's really interesting to see him, to quote Steve Austin, he sells on the run in this match.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And this match, guys, is 29 minutes and 38 seconds.
It's our longest singles match to date.
Yeah, this is a half hour. And that's another thing that you don't like. If I told you that it was going to be a half hour Undertaker match, you would say, man, he throws a lot of punches. And that's
Well,
kind of what
they
you think.
both
That's
do, but-
that sort of methodical, slow moving Undertaker, especially if he's going to last that long. But that's really not what this is. It really isn't. And I think why I love this match and why it belongs on this list is because I think it is just the definition of a smart wrestling match.
Oh, I agree. And to your point about it being 29 minutes, it doesn't feel like 29 minutes when you watch it.
No.
Like we have matches on our list that are like half the length that feel longer.
Yeah.
Like Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat feels longer and it's 10 minutes shorter.
So this is one of the greatest holy shit out of nowhere feuds that we've received.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely it comes, we have it for like 3 weeks and then it's gone again and that's it.
It had little or nothing to do with what the other guy was doing at the time. It did not have a follow-up at WrestleMania the next month.
Which is a travesty.
But we did get... What we did get is one of the most exhilarating and memorable encounters inside a WWE ring.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
At the Royal Rumble, January 2006, Kurt Angle is defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Mark Henry.
Yes.
Match lasts about 9 minutes.
Classic. Probably won't be on this list.
And Mark Henry.
I love Mark
Let's talk
Henry,
about Mark
but-
Henry.
Yeah. Sexual chocolate.
He'd been on a tear at the time, right? He's breaking down people left and right. He's injuring people. And
Literally.
that's kind of his gimmick.
Yeah.
That is who he is in the wrestling business. He's the guy that's going to hurt you.
But it wasn't for another 5 years before he got really, really good and had an amazing main event run.
He sure did. That was fun. Henry with the belt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We should talk about the Hall of Pain at some point.
We should. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Mark Henry, I think.
Oh, for sure.
He had a similar kind of angle in that, him and Kurt were both Olympians. Mm-hmm. And they were really, really, it was really impressive to see how they could translate that world to this world. And part of me wishes that they could have been a little bit more creative with his booking.
Yeah. I mean, the booking team didn't ever have anything good for Mark until... That's why I feel like the Hall of Pain was basically him going, all right, fine. Not going to take me seriously? I'm going to make you take me seriously. And he went out there and he just they made it seem like he was taking liberties with people, and he wasn't. He was being as safe as he could be, but the nature of his in-ring style looks like he is breaking people in half.
This may be my favorite angle that we get in WWE. 2006 Angle is doing incredible work. He's changing his look. He's changing up the music a little bit. Kurt Angle says in one of the SmackDowns, the build-up to the match, I can beat people in ways I haven't even invented yet. And it's so true.
Man, that's good.
It's so true.
Yeah.
He won the belt by showing up on SmackDown for a battle royal for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship, dropped by Batista due to injury. And this was a shocker because at the time, Angle was a Raw superstar, and they didn't jump around very often back then like you see now. Not my one complaint. Hopefully this...
Oh, he didn't use the wild card rule?
No. That wasn't a thing. That wasn't a thing.
I could have sworn. Maybe I misremembered.
There was no wild card. There was no superstar shakeup. There's no supplemental draft. There was the draft.
Yeah.
Well, this is why WWE really needs to... I'm not telling them what to do, okay? But really, as a dedicated fan who's been watching for decades, I've only been alive for a couple of decades, but okay, this is why WWE really needs to take the new draft seriously. It's an opportunity to keep people separate again, to make more opportunities for moments like this. Oh shit moments. Because you don't get those when you see everybody every week.
Right. No, you don't.
So the way that they used it as a storyline element, it was Angle's contract had gone up. How real is that? Like, it's not, oh, I'm here now, ha ha ha, and then sweep it under the rug. It's, yep, my contract was up with Raw, I'm coming to SmackDown. It feels like a fucking sport.
Also, I want to point out that Paul Heyman is the one that walks out with him. That's kind of dropped immediately, but Heyman walked like, I brought... That's terrible. I brought Kurt Angle out with me.
Wow. One of the things that has been the best have been your impressions. I am sorry that one happened.
My Heyman one's not very good.
So, yeah, like we said, the match with Henry lasts 9 minutes. Angle retains, and we get the gong.
Oh, I was afraid you were going to gloss over the greatest thing in the history of wrestling.
We get the gong. We get the blue lights. We get the druids.
The Undertaker comes out on a cart. It's amazing.
It is not a cart. It is a horse-drawn carriage.
A horse-drawn cart? And there's a torch on it.
Okay.
It's a buggy.
It's amazing.
It's a white horse, which obviously signifies Armageddon.
Pale horse. No, I'm serious. The thing is, I saw a pale horse and the rider was death.
Oh, there you go. Undertaker, death. There you go. Well, I actually didn't hate it.
I loved it.
It made a lot of sense. It like kind of brought the whole thing together because the theming for that year's Royal Rumble was like gladiator.
Yeah, they had the chandeliers and the torches everywhere.
Roman architecture.
They had like the guys opening and closing the gates,
which was
for
the
entrance.
best.
Yeah,
I wonder
Which
who
was
they
the
were.
best.
just two jobbers.
Surely they are somebody now.
Yeah.
You would think.
I probably guessed them wrong in the trivia game.
Yeah, that too.
It may have been Thomas Whitney and Cedric
Von Heusen,
Van Housen from Liechtenstein.
the champion of Liechtenstein.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so Taker comes out. He signifies an interest in the World Championship. Angle is in the ring, clinching the belt, terrified.
I just love this because Taker just goes, Kurt, you have something that I want.
Well, that was the next week.
He
on,
raises
SmackDown.
he raises his hands up, and then lightning strikes the ring.
Oh, yeah.
The posts explode, and the ring starts to shake and collapses.
With Angle inside. And so Angle is doing a great job selling it as terrified.
It's so stupid, but it's amazing.
It's stupid and amazing, and this is why we love pro wrestling.
Oh, my
Right,
God,
but
I
it's one of
fucking love
those-
wrestling.
Like, when was the last time we had an Undertaker mythical moment? Like that?
It's been a while.
Well, and this one in particular is very special
Yeah.
because when's the last time you get actual special effects on WWE TV? I mean, usually if they're going to have pyro, they'll have pyro, but it's real pyro. And the stuff you see in the ring, they know what they're doing, but it's the real shit. They're taking the bumps. They know how to take the bumps properly. They put in special effects of lightning. Like, Undertaker did not produce lightning out of his fingers. That was special effects for people watching at home.
What I like what they do, because we saw this at WrestleMania 34, is to simulate the lightning, they would send out basically a series of small, like little flashes on like a line, and then they would just trace over that on the monitor with like the lightning effects. So it looks like a lightning bolt has gone off in the arena, but then you see it on TV. It's like, oh no, it's like purple energy. Like he's the Emperor from Star Wars. It's amazing.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe that's what they did because it did look very good.
Oh yeah.
It looked very convincing. But next week on SmackDown, Undertaker goes out, explains to Kurt that that's the one thing he desires, like Paul said, World Heavyweight Championship.
You have my grill.
Just as an aside, God, I miss that belt.
It's so beautiful.
That was the first thing I thought when I saw it.
There's no excuse to not have that belt right now. No excuse.
I completely agree. There's so much prestige. I mean, how many times did Ric Flair hold that belt? Mm-hmm. It's the big gold belt. It means so much to the business.
I was going to say, I mean, it's common knowledge that... Actually, no. According to Raw, he's had it 17 times.
We can get into that?
No, let's move right along.
But 16... Actually, he has not. He's held it 14. He held the WWE Championship twice.
Fair enough. Anyway, Kurt comes out. They have a stare down. Kurt shows him a little bit of respect, but claims that he is the best in the world. He says, "You may be the phenom, but I'm a wrestling machine. We don't have very much in common. But when that bell rings, I don't have a soul either. When that bell rings, I don't plan on resting in peace. I plan on breaking your ankle in pieces."
See, but I like to think the reason why Undertaker came out to interrupt Kurt's celebration is that he saw the booking for WrestleMania and was like,
I don't want to wrestle Mark Henry. Kurt, give me your belt.
Well, yeah, but you're absolutely right. So it kind of speaks to like how like individual this is. You know, going the match before the Kurt Angle Undertaker match at No Mercy is Randy Orton Rey Mysterio for Rey Mysterio's spot at WrestleMania. And Randy Orton wins. They end up having a triple threat match. And Undertaker does end up facing Mark Henry. Right?
Well, actually, the next week on SmackDown, The Undertaker is matched up against Mark Henry. Mm-hmm. And it's just interesting how they play this off. So Undertaker and Kurt Angle are both faces at this time. Right, so they are both these larger-than-life heroes that the crowd wants to cheer. And they do a classic face-versus-face angle where Kurt comes out and saves Taker in the match because, you know, Henry's doing some dastardly whatever. You know, he's actually has Daivari as a manager at the time.
which makes no sense, but that's not important.
Whatever. I really like this segment because this is obviously a filler feud. You know, this is not destined to go anywhere. Rey Mysterio was already set to face the world champ at WrestleMania, or now it's Randy Orton, already set to face the world champion at WrestleMania. But they still found a way to keep me invested in this match by putting the two top faces in the company as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. And you just knew they were going to tear the house down.
Oh, yeah, they fucking do. Spoiler alert.
And that's what happens in Baltimore.
Yeah, and that's how we get there. So again, you know, we're in mid-February. It's the last stop before WrestleMania 22. Just as a reminder, on commentary is Michael Cole and Taz, of course, the voices of SmackDown at this time, and the referee.
That no good son of a bitch, Nick Patrick.
That's right. So when the entrances happen, first of all, again, just a flashback to specific sets for different pay-per-views. So we have sort of the combination lock for No Way Out, which is kind of fun. But Angle, when he comes out first. He's got the belt on. It's gorgeous. And he is just intense.
I have to point out, he's also wearing a black singlet.
Yep, this is how Angle was just kind of changing up how he did things. So when he debuted on Raw, he was wearing that same black singlet. It looks so good on him.
Mm-hmm. But notice, he's not getting the "you suck" chance when he comes out.
No, I did notice that. It was very quiet when he came out. I mean, you heard a couple. It was a very minimal "you suck" chance. Because at the time, he was super face. And what he would do is he would always come out second. It helped being the champ. And his opponent would be in the ring. And so he would just point at them, "You suck." Mm-hmm. And people would chant with him, "You suck" at his opponent. It was great.
I love it, but you got to think about this and think Undertaker always comes out second, because if he comes out first, that amazing entrance, and then has to stand in the corner for the next 2 minutes, like it would completely ruin the mystique of him coming out.
The Undertaker's whole gimmick is pretty much centered around his entrance and his demeanor being extremely intimidating.
Yeah, so like I said, if he comes out first and has to stand in the corner,
it
while
defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that was an awesome entrance, but how's that going to psych out your opponent if they come out next?
And his entrance here is not all that different from most of his entrances, but there's one thing that I noticed that really stood out. And that's normally when I think about the Undertaker's entrance and the smoke that goes along with it, I think about it kind of at his feet. And he sort of glides through the smoke where you almost can't tell if he's walking or gliding, right? But in this instance in particular, he's entirely in smoke.
Yeah,
like it's coming from the top, it's coming from around him, and it is awesome.
He just kind of appears like, boom, he's there. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Me and Lamb discussing this earlier. It's kind of a scaled back Undertaker. I'm used to him having lightning and having like the fireballs. I actually really enjoy just blue lights, smoke, and then he just appears in the smoke and then comes to the ring. I really, really like that.
And that's normally the time where they would show the opponent in the ring and they're looking like they're scared to death or whatever it may be. But Kurt Angle looks as intense as ever.
Oh, yeah. It goes to Kurt. He's like, he's like got that mouth guard in and he's like chewing on it, like, let's do this.
See, what I thought that stood out to me during Undertaker's entrance this time around, it was a great moment because Michael Cole and Taz just shut up and watched. Mm-hmm. You don't get that nowadays, right? Anytime when someone's coming to the ring, you're typically hearing Michael Cole go on and on about what they had for breakfast that morning.
Yeah.
Like, it's nonstop Cole in your face.
Yeah.
This Michael Cole is great Michael Cole.
Oh, he's really good. And to your point, like they're not saying a lot during Undertaker's entrance. Like they're pretty quiet. But once Undertaker gets in the ring, once the hat comes off, and once they're really about to get started, Michael Cole says, Kurt Angle, perhaps the best pure wrestler ever. Undertaker, perhaps the best pure striker ever. And it just frames this match so perfectly.
It really
so
does.
perfectly.
It really does. And you see that in the opening moments of the match.
Yeah.
It really does play out. Another thing Michael Cole says is this is one of the biggest main events in SmackDown history. I couldn't agree more. This is why we're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Then he says something that I have a huge point of contention with. He says, neither of these men have ever tapped out.
I was wondering if you were going to mention this.
Oh, yes, I'm going to mention that.
I should have known.
And when I first heard about, okay, this is 2000 and, oh, wait a minute, this is pre-Benoit tragedy. It's a pretty big and well-known fact that Kurt Angle tapped out to Chris Benoit at WrestleMania 17. He also got to Chris Jericho, the Wall Jericho, but that's not important. Also, these two feuded back in the American Badass era, and they had a match on the September 30th episode of SmackDown, which ended with The Undertaker tapping out to the ankle lock, but the referee didn't see it.
Well, that means it didn't happen.
But the point is, it happened, and they were like, oh, Undertaker tapped out. Ah, the referee didn't see it. And then he just rolls up Kurt and beats him.
Yeah.
But the exact same finish to the 2015 SummerSlam match with Brock Lesnar. Exact same thing. Like, he tapped out to psych out the opponent. Only the timekeeper didn't fuck up and ring the bell, though. But the point is, like, oh, no, he's tapped out. It's happened before. So don't tell us it hasn't happened when it has. And it's like a big, like, if you Google Undertaker versus Kurt Angle, two matches come up. This match and the match from SmackDown where Undertaker taps out. So don't tell me that he's never tapped out. You're lying.
Just a brief aside. You know how I'm a big fan, I've mentioned this several times, is that I love a big championship graphic when they, put the belt on the screen and, this is the World Heavyweight Championship match. I love that. Like, I really love that. I hate this graphic. It's trash.
It's terrible.
It's just a quick note that I had for myself because while I was watching it,
It's never been my favorite.
It's like 0.2 seconds. It looks like film reel. It's ridiculous, and I hate it. And we're moving on past it.
Yeah.
So I love the early on, we do get the striker versus grappler right off the bat. Angle gets the kind of first win in the battles here, and he gets a waist lock after Undertaker tries to make it a striking game. He keeps it grappling. And I thought, this is circular storytelling based on what happens at the end. But Taker, interestingly, begins working on Angle's arm very early on.
Yes, it's very, very interesting. Like, he just starts whipping out like these key locks, and then he does my favorite sequence. He doesn't do it very often, but every single video game that comes out, he has this sequence where he does the arm wrench, and then he picks them up by their arm and holds them there, and like drops them down, and then like basically just grabs that shoulder and just pulls them to the mat, and he puts them in short arm scissors. That sequence is in every single 2K game, but he never fucking does it anymore. It's beautiful.
It was really interesting to me because you didn't typically see him focus on the arm quite as much as he does here. He does have moves that do it. Old school focuses on the arm. The lift, he's done before. We know it's in his repertoire. But we see key locks. We see arm twists. We see him really narrowing in. And it's foreshadowing what's about to happen.
Yeah, there are a few times that, in any Undertaker match that I remember where he's really singling out a limb, and really targeting something like that.
Typically, he's striking and intimidating.
Right.
Pretty much.
Exactly. And this is how he controls the first 3 or 4 minutes of this matchup. He hits the old school. He hits Snake Eyes. And then he misses the follow-up boot, which leads to Angle grabbing his first bit of the momentum with the German suplex.
Very, very stiff German suplex.
It's so good. It's so good.
So up to this point, I was totally anticipating to have heard several blurps, but I've only counted one throughout the whole match.
A blurp?
Yep.
What was that?
Paul? Bloop. So The Undertaker, if you haven't followed his Instagram feed, makes this beautiful noise when he lifts.
Oh, it's amazing. So I have to give credit to this one. I never noticed this, but after listening to the AE podcast, Adam Bigelow brought this to my attention. Every time he does pretty much any lifting motion, he just goes "Beep," every single time. Like go watch any Undertaker versus Randy Orton match.
It's beautiful.
Oh God! And when he does start letting the grunts out, they're amazing. But another thing that's amazing grunt wise. Nick Patrick, that is a grunty man. When he's doing the count out, 1, 2, Kurt, get him back in the ring.
He had a concrete smoothie that morning.
Here's the thing about Nick Patrick. I also hate the way he counts pinfalls. Why is he the only referee that takes a full lay down nap while he's counting?
He sure does.
He's on his shoulder or basically lying down on his side when he counts, and it's a little bit distracting, and I hate it.
He got to make sure them shoulders are down.
I guess
does.
he's getting real close to the mat.
He hits one, and he shakes his hand to double check, and then two. I hate it.
So we have a couple of gripes, but one thing that I really love, and this is actually on commentary, Taz talks about a conversation he had with The Undertaker 3 years prior when he said he saw Kurt Angle. Undertaker said to Taz that he saw Kurt Angle as one of the best ever and that he would love to beat him in a match. I love the realism with this. He didn't say, I was just backstage talking to, like you always hear, and you're just like, whatever, that's bullshit. He said, I talked to Taker a few years ago about this, and now we get to see it come to fruition. It just felt so real to me. I appreciated it.
Yeah, I completely agree. It makes it seem like this is a goal that The Undertaker has had for a long time. It makes this sort of out of nowhere feud make a little bit more sense.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Which it needed a little bit.
It did.
Because it was kind of out of the blue.
Yeah.
Well,
as going on, we get some very interesting offense by Undertaker. He does the CM Punk, the running shining wizard in the corner. I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's a different kind of Taker.
Oh, he goes to the well again, and it does not go so well. But what I love about this is he gets we get some beautiful barricade and ring post action here, which Spencer, I know you love it so much.
Oh yeah, I love a barricade spot, but I will say this: nobody jumps from the apron to the barricade better than the dead man.
But then he just picks up. I'm sorry, Kurt picks him up and throws him into the ring post, which is your 2K19 strategy.
and then we get the stereotypical vintage Undertaker leg drop on while Angle's on the apron, which is just, it's been so long since I've seen that look as devastating as it did in this moment.
It really did.
He can still jump at this point.
Yeah, it really is vintage, and it really is beautiful. But once they get back in the ring, we have our first chokeslam attempt of the match, and I really love this little sequence because Angle reverses it by just kicking Undertaker's knee.
Yeah, he kicked his knees out.
His knee. And this is important because this is sort of where the match starts to turn. But Angle kicks the Undertaker's knee, and then Undertaker hits this phenomenal throat thrust
Oh,
to kind of get back to level ground. It's really, really good.
like, mate, that was a receipt. That was real.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Well-
the focus goes to the knee now.
Yeah, and I noticed that every time Angle tries to go for a strike, Taker puts him down.
Oh, every single time.
This is his specialty. This is what he's known for, is his strikes. And so it was interesting to see that play out, just like we see Kurt Angle ruling the on the mat work and the German suplex work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and just like how the Undertaker is intimidating, and you see that he is intimidating in the way he fights in the ring. Now, with the way this match turns with the knee, you see how strategic and how tactical and how smart Kurt Angle is. He's a hunter once that knee starts being hurt.
Oh, yeah, he smells
because
blood.
That's it. He is solely focused on that knee of the Undertaker, including a figure 4 leg lock on the ring post on the
Oh,
outside,
yeah.
which is always great. He just goes after it again and again.
Oh, yeah. But while he's doing the corner ring post, that's where I started to notice Nick Patrick, the 1, 2, 3, Kurt, get it back in the ring. And then Kurt goes back in the ring, and some dickhead just goes, "You suck, Kurt."
So that's a great point, though. Angle wrestles dirty in this match.
Very dirty.
Which suits him so well. I
Oh,
always
it's perfect for this character. Yeah.
I always preferred heel Angle. But, they both go into this match as faces, so it's just interesting to see. He doesn't break after 4 counts on the ropes. He does the figure 4 on the post. Like, these are despicable acts, you could say. But I feel like it's really coming more from a place of desperation in Angle.
Well, everything else he's tried has not worked. So it's like, all right, well, I'm going to destroy your legs. I don't care what I have to do it.
So there's even a point where he goes for a cover just after he rolls Taker into the ring after doing the figure 4 on the outside, and he immediately goes for the cover. And it's like, did you really think you were going to get the pinfall for that?
No,
Like,
but it's...
no, but he's desperate, and you can see it on his face, and it just really told the story of the match that much more for me.
Oh, I completely agree. And when he gets further and further into that desperate, I have to really do some kind of dire things in order to try to win this match, he gets put back on the apron. The Undertaker goes for the vintage leg drop one more time, and he misses.
I misses, and then it immediately turns into an ankle lock.
Yeah. And Kurt, not only does he apply the ankle lock while the Undertaker is outside the ring, but when they're about to get counted out for the 10 count from being out of the ring, Angle lets go of the ankle lock, gets back in the ring, rolls back out, and then puts it back on.
So this is one of the things that I've always loved about Kurt Angle that I don't understand why we don't see more of. He was playing possum on the apron. He knows Undertaker's repertoire. He's already done it once in the match. If I lay on the apron long enough, he'll come and do a leg drop on me. So I'll just lay here. And so when he went for the leg drop, he caught the leg on the way down and put it in an ankle lock. He's just a genius in-ring tactician. And I don't see why more people wouldn't take the playing possum approach.
You just don't see that anymore.
It was a Kurt Angle thing, really.
Oh, and it was so perfectly executed. It made the most sense. Once he finally breaks the ankle lock and gets Taker back into the ring, he does a double leg takedown on the Undertaker.
Yeah, immediately.
Which, how many times have you seen the Undertaker getting taken down with a double leg?
Well, okay,
Not very
so
often.
let's go back to that for
Yeah.
a second, because this was, I love this match. I'm the one that chose it.
Yeah.
Couple gripes.
Okay.
Here's one. It would have been so smart of Kurt Angle, and I thought this is what he was doing. He got him outside, like we talked about, put him back on the outside to put the ankle lock back on, and he waited until the ref counted to 8, and he goes in the ring. Well, you just put the ankle lock on the guy. He's probably going to be down for another couple of seconds. You could have won the match with a 10 count right there, but that's not what he does.
Well, he rolls
He
back
picks
out.
him back up and rolls Undertaker back in the ring.
Well, I think I'm actually really good with that because these two guys, especially as faces in this match, a count-out victory isn't what either one of them respectfully would want.
And we're actually going to get into that a little bit more in a moment, but the short term is he didn't want to beat him that way.
Yeah, these guys want to beat each other, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. You're absolutely right. And that's sort of the wrestling logic thing that
And, well, I
is hard to
totally,
play around
I
with.
totally get that. And later in the match, we see that particular thing play out. But in this moment, it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I heard where you come from.
Yeah, I get it. Angle ends up throwing Taker to the mat with that double leg takedown, and that normally I was like, wow, like I never see that. That's super bizarre. But then all of a sudden it makes a whole lot of sense because Undertaker gets that triangle choke for the first time.
And I was shocked because normally we're used to seeing him lock that in and the whole arena goes, everyone like has a stroke because, oh my God. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This is like 2 years for the Hell's Gates a thing. He's just doing a triangle hold. And I was just like, it took me a second to realize the crowd's not losing their minds. Every time he does this now, everyone like goes insane.
Well, he hadn't done it a lot. I mean, it was something I think he did a little bit as American Badass. So that's kind of how he was able to introduce it, was because you don't think of the Phenom Undertaker doing things like this.
Yeah.
No.
And so that was kind of his thing. It's like, if I'm going to come back as a Phenom, I'm still going to do what I want to do. And it worked. It just made sense to me because the way it happened, it was kind of this like rising from the dead
Absolutely.
motion.
That's, you put it perfectly. I mean, you really did, especially because now, you can't choke slam with a hurt knee. You can't choke slam from the mat. You can't tombstone from the mat, but you sure as hell can put in a triangle choke from the mat.
Oh, yeah. And then we get my favorite moment in this match. They go back on the outside, and Taker just throws Kurt into the timekeeper's area, and he lands square on Tony Chimmel's lap, and then the chair breaks.
And then Taz, the first thing Taz says after that happens is,
Better Chimmel than us.
And they mock him.
they're totally making fun of Chimmel all the time.
Leave him alone.
It's the best. It was not an ugly, like it was not a nice moment. Like Chimmel, like
It was
was
beautiful.
pretty bad.
I loved it.
fact that his
You know what else I loved? They spent the time to undress one announce table
oh, this is so good.
and then put someone through the other one.
Yeah. Because Taker really rips off the top of the table, and then Kurt Angle slams with the Spanish announce table.
Yeah, just when you think, oh, maybe we'll actually do the American announce table. Nope, there it
Nope.
goes.
Fuck you, Spanish announce table.
An angle slam to the other announce table, by the way. So
And this is when we get to the period of where the count gets up to 8. Taker's not even on his feet yet, and Patrick's like, 9! And then Kurt Angle grabs Nick Patrick. What the fuck are you doing? And it just this, like, the amount of beeps. I'm like, holy shit, what's going on here? Like, nah, I'm going to beat him in the ring. And it goes, well, then get him back in the ring, Kurt. And then he goes back to finish the 10. Kurt rolls out, and you can see Patrick, what are you doing? And they...
this is actually when sort of a kind of gross moment happens in this match. It's really, yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Angle gets back out of the ring. He goes to try. We're 20 minutes into the match now, right? So we're pretty deep in. We're 20 minutes in, and Angle goes to get Taker to roll him back into the ring, and he gets bounced off the steps. Like Taker throws him into the steps.
Oh, but then like he catches his Adam's apple on like the piece of the broken table.
Yeah. The part of the table that wasn't broken, that Undertaker just threw off, like the cover of the table happened to be standing up vertically. And Kurt Angle, when he hits the steps, he falls down
Throat first.
onto. Oh, it's yeah.
Oh, you can always tell when somebody gets hurt because they immediately cut away to Undertaker, like looking like, "Urgh." And when they cut back to Kurt, he's like, he's like holding his throat and like just dry heaving. I'm like, is he okay?
It was a don't try this at home moment.
Yeah,
for
you know,
sure.
when I think I don't see a whole lot of like throat injuries that are legitimate that happen in the ring, but it made me think of Triple H and Rob Van Dam from the Elimination Chamber. Oh yeah, that one was much worse, but it's what I made me think of. But they get back into the ring, Kurt Angle.
I got one worse.
Do you?
Sid coming off the top rope.
Shut up! No. Moving on.
No.
Okay, so get back in the ring and then.
Angle takes advantage of the.
Oh God!
Oh no!
I hate you.
Yeah, I can't. Kurt Angle takes advantage of the Undertaker going to the top rope, because why the hell would the Undertaker go to the top rope except to get belly thrown off the top rope?
Oh God, belly to belly over it. Oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah,
but it's
and
amazing.
Undertaker's landing is not pretty either.
No.
Not even a little bit. But he takes it, and it's a big moment. That's a big dude to get thrown off the top. So
and then we get to my favorite sequence in this match.
You've said that before. This is your second favorite sequence of the match.
I think he said favorite moment
just
first
got
time.
the
Dude.
eyes.
Undertaker goes for a choke slam. The choke slam gets reversed to the ankle lock. Taker rolls out of the ankle lock and locks in the triangle hold, and then Kurt does a forward roll out of the triangle hold and then back into the ankle lock. And I'm like, holy shit.
Angle can reverse any move into an ankle lock, and it's truly amazing.
And then I'm just, holy shit. And then whenever Taker, he breaks out of it by repeatedly heel stomping Kurt on the forehead, and he breaks it, and then we do get a choke slam
The height on that choke slam.
Oh, it's so good.
to the rafters.
And then because Nick Patrick doesn't know how to count, the fans think he counts 3 when he pins Angle.
It's because when he goes like 1 and then checks his shoulder, but he goes like 1 and then check his shoulder and then 2 and then everyone's like, yay, 3, but then Kurt kicks out. I'm like, no, that was 2. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Nick?
But Paul, like you said, what an incredible sequence.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
I was really impressed at the technique that that Undertaker uses to escape the ankle lock. Because what he does is he rolls over, pulls his leg to his chest, and puts on the triangle choke.
Mm-hmm.
It was very methodical.
Yes.
And I was impressed at how smart that motion was.
Right. It made a whole lot of sense. And then, so the chokeslam doesn't work, right? So what does the Undertaker do after a chokeslam doesn't work?
Goes for the last ride, which we have not seen in a long time.
And that last ride gets reversed into another ankle lock. So we just saw it with the chokeslam, and we see another really great sequence there where Angle reverses the last ride into another really tough ankle lock.
And at this point, that's when they really start ironing on the point that, oh man, Taker's never tapped out. He has. Taker's never tapped out before. What's going to happen here, Cole? To his credit, he's literally, that hand is shaking. He's going to tap out, but he does manage to break out.
Well, and Taker's been selling the leg the whole match.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's can barely stand up straight.
So later, Taker goes for the tombstone.
Yeah, this is after Kurt Angle's second angle slam of the match. This one being in the ring.
And the angle slam is my second favorite moment because Kurt drops the straps and he's doing this whole, I'm Kurt Angle, I'm going to break you. And then as soon as he does that, Taker just sits up. Kurt Angle stops.
They happen at the same time, right? Angle drops the straps. Taker sits up. It's almost simultaneous. I get chills talking about it.
Yeah.
It's a great moment.
All the
It's
color
so
drains
good.
from Kurt Angle's face.
Yeah, and then Taker goes for the tombstone.
And it's so interesting because we essentially have this circus act of backflips.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So Taker's going to go for the tombstone. Angle rolls back, and it's he's going to go for
Oh
a
my
tombstone.
God, he's going to do a tombstone.
And then Taker rolls back. And then Angle reverses the tombstone into an ankle lock because Kurt Angle.
And when he does, you hear Angle audibly, oh yeah, like he does this big, that's right.
Yes, it's
I just
great.
fucking did that. I just reversed another thing. Taker's third finisher, I reverse into an ankle lock,
Then his
and he's proud
eyes
of himself.
Pop out when he gets rolled back.
Yeah, and he goes into the grapevine, and that's the signature. When Angle goes into the grapevine and
It's
wraps
over.
those legs around that ankle,
It's always over.
It's always over. But the Undertaker starts hitting these really vicious boots to the face to try to
Yes.
kick himself out of this ankle lock because for the first time, quote unquote, you really feel like the Undertaker might tap out.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
His hand is shaking. He's about to tap, but he just don't want to do it. He's his whole body's gyrating because he doesn't want to tap out.
right. And so the Undertaker gets those boots to the face. He's able to actually break out of the grapevine, which almost never happens with Kurt. And Angle hits him with a third angle slam. And it looks like he's about to go for the cover or maybe another ankle lock. But Taker puts in the triangle choke again.
So
And now Kurt is going desperate.
every time these two separate, anytime they have a little bit of space between them, it's this look of what the hell is it going to take to beat that guy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd just goes insane for it. And so here we do get the final triangle choke of the match, and the fans really don't know what to think at this point. Is the impression that I'm getting. It's everyone is wondering, could he possibly win the belt like this? Because everyone's kind of living in Bizarro world at this point, right? Everyone assumed Rey Mysterio was going straight to WrestleMania. He won the Royal Rumble. That's what happens. But only 30 minutes earlier, Randy Orton took that away from him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So at this point, who the fuck knows?
Right. Are we really like there's a moment here where you're thinking, are we getting a Randy Undertaker rematch for the world title at WrestleMania after they just had this 9-month long feud?
Would have been very feasible.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a split second where you think that's going to happen because Kurt Angle is in bad shape in this triangle choke until he's not.
He does a forward roll. And then all of a sudden, Nick Patrick counts to 3.
So the roll that he does is technically a jackknife pin. And it's a beautiful bridge, and it looks awesome.
Right. It's almost like you've never seen The Undertaker in that position before.
Exactly. And The Undertaker, it was a heavy, heavy pin.
Oh yeah, you're, like the way he's essentially bent over almost backwards. He's not gonna be able to break
Yeah,
that.
it's
hold.
like it's a legitimate pin. Like it's like Undertaker is legitimately down, but he's not letting go of the triangle.
Right. And so there's confusion.
Right.
The bell does not ring. Well, the bell rings, I think, but music does not play.
No, there's
Right.
no music.
Undertaker thinks he's won.
Oh no, I love this because Chimo walked in with the belt. Taker's like, "I'll take that." He's walked right past him against
Yep.
the Kurt,
Yeah.
and he turns around like,
That is a great beat.
"Oh!" And then he just turns around and he goes, "Son of a bitch, I got to wrestle Mark Henry now."
And he's so mad about it that he chases Nick Patrick out of the ring.
Then he gets right in Kurt and goes, "I got your number, Kurt. Next time."
He sure does.
But there was never a next time. It's the last time these two wrestled.
Yeah, I don't recall another one.
Guys, the last 10 minutes of this match are just stupid. They're so
It's very
good.
tense.
The last 10 minutes, the reversals, the submissions, the finishers, the angle slams, you name it. Oh gosh, 2006 Kurt Angle Undertaker, like that's as good as it got. That's
These
so
guys
good.
have incredible chemistry, and it makes me wish that this program went on for like a year.
Yeah. Give me more. Give me more. And it is a shame that this was sort of a lightning in a bottle one time deal. But I'm grateful we got it because damn, it's good.
Oh, it's amazing. But I just gotta say, guys, favorite moments. I've already named mine.
My favorite moment that's easy is the finish. It's really unique. I'm a sucker for a jackknife cover, and the fact that it was in the middle of a submission, it's just it always sticks out in my mind. So finish for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, my favorite moment, even though I want to say like there are tombstone reversals into the ankle lock, the moment right before that when Angle pulls the straps down at the same time that the Undertaker sits up.
Sits up. Oh yeah.
I just
Chills.
like those are moments. Like those are moments that you get, and they're few and far between. They're few and far between when there's two larger than life characters that create that chemistry
It really reminded me
while not doing a move.
It really reminded me of when he wrestled Bray Wyatt at 31.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
Bray Wyatt was doing a spider walk and then he sat up. It's like it reminded me of that because it's like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? Oh, we know what's going to happen next. Tombstone.
And it happened at sort of at the apex.
Oh,
the
exactly.
climax of the
Kurt's
match.
like, I got this, and then Taker just sits up. Like, no, you don't.
Yeah, exactly. So Paul, you named a couple favorites. What is your favorite part of this match?
That Tombstone sequence, I love that. I'm a sucker for that sequence. Anytime he does it, he's done it before, but they never did it 3 times before. That's. I can't think of a time he did it that many reversals. I could think of a match where like somebody went for the Tombstone and he reversed it. Not he goes for the Tombstone, they rolled back, and then he rolled them back for a Tombstone. I cannot think of another instance of that before. God.
It felt a little goofy. It felt like I was watching a circus act, but I liked it.
I mean, pro wrestling started as like a vaudeville act.
True.
So I mean, it has roots in the circus.
And that's kind of what brings us back to it, right? It's these unique things that people are doing with their bodies that you just don't see anywhere else.
Yeah, you said it. You absolutely said it. And that leads us to the ranking. Man, oh man. Ugh. I mean, the fact that this is already so difficult for us, and this is our 15th match, it's a testament to how good these matches are. I mean, that's what it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Last time, if you were with us last time, we ranked Shinsuke Nakamura, Kota Ibushi at number 7. I sat there quietly just in case anyone was going to scream at me through the podcast. But now the first question we have to ask ourselves: Kurt Angle, Undertaker, No Way Out. Is it in the top 10? Right now, number 10 is the Royal Rumble 2009.
2009?
Yeah, that one. The Royal
man.
Rumble 1992.
It's better than Royal Rumble 2009. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. Is just Randy Orton going to be able to win the big one at WrestleMania 25? Let's find out.
1992 Rumble is currently in the number 10 spot. So does this crack that top 10?
Yes, I think so.
I think it beats Royal Rumble 92.
Initially, my first instinct is no, it doesn't crack the top 10. The Royal Rumble is so different than everything else on this list, which is why it makes it so hard.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, it does. It makes it really, really difficult. I think that if it doesn't beat the Rumble, then it's number 11. Then it's right after the Rumble.
Okay. So I think it beats the Rumble, but it doesn't beat Eddie versus Ray.
Yeah, I was thinking of putting this at number 10.
I would put it at number 10.
So we bump down the Rumble, Tanaka, Revival, etc. But I love this match, but Eddie and Ray is so special to me.
It's a special match. You see, for all the chemistry that Undertaker and Angle have, they don't quite have the chemistry of Eddie and Ray. And for me, it's going to go over the Rumble 92 just because it's an easier watch. And these two guys are, the Royal Rumble 92 have a ton of Hall of Famers, but I would watch an Undertaker versus Kurt Angle match before I would watch anybody else in that Rumble 92.
Yeah, for me, the 92 Rumble has implications forever. And this Undertaker-Kurt Angle match was in a moment. It was here for 3 weeks, and it was gone, and that was it.
Yeah.
And part of how we've ranked these matches in some instances has been, the impact and what it left afterwards. And this match, quite frankly, is not one that people remember all the time. It's a great match. I think it's one of the best ever in the SmackDown brand. Like I love this match and it deserves to be on this list. But compared to the Royal Rumble 92, it just doesn't feel like it has that gravity. Which is why I would put it at 11. But I'm totally I'm fine with 10 if you want to put it above the Rumble.
I feel like this is going to be a theme because it's already happened twice now where we're like, oh, we agree. And like Spencer's like, oh, I don't know. He raises a very good point.
This has happened before.
only-
Spencer, usually you're able to convince me that you're really good at selling your point. This match holds a very special place in my heart, particularly.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I will selfishly stand my ground and say I think it should go at 10.
Yeah, and I totally get it. And that's part of why this list is so difficult is because we all have different feelings about them and and they all mean something different to us.
Right.
Because
that's
of
true.
where we saw them for the first time or whatever that may be. And that's why we have a ranker. So that you guys that are listening can go rank it yourself because we know that every single one of these matches, for as many listeners as we have, it's going to feel different to all of you.
That's true.
And that's why we want you to go rank it.
You can go to the ranker and tell us that we're wrong.
Yeah, ranker.com/last match standing, and it won't look anything like our list, and that's okay because both of those things are going to go into what we decide will be our last match standing.
Actually, right now, they're actually pretty similar.
Yeah, there's a few
swap
key
like
differences.
2 matches around and it's like identical.
Yeah, so super interesting. So you're going to stay at 10. I'm going to be 11, Paul.
I've got to stand my ground.
That's fine. I mean, I feel
Because if
You know
I
what I
don't
feel
stand
like
my
right now?
ground, then we're
Shut
gonna
down, Spencer. Shut down.
hang on. If I don't stand my ground, then we're gonna talk about it for another 20 minutes, like we did the last 2
well,
times.
that's fine. And listen, like I in no way think that my opinion should sway you guys necessarily. Those are my thoughts
It
and feelings.
has
on it.
like 3 times in the past. So.
Well, you know what I feel like a little bit right now, since I was just denied so heavily, is I feel a little bit like Podcast Hitman. Just a touch, like the villain. Like I feel a little bit like a villain right now.
Damn.
Yeah.
He went there.
There you go, podcast. But I haven't talked about you in a while. There you are.
Jesus, Spencer.
We appreciate you so much. But
Even I wouldn't stoop that low.
we are going to keep it at 10. Number 10 on the list. So the way things stand now, Eddie and Ray will be at 9. Undertaker, Kurt Angle from No Way Out is a 10. And then Royal Rumble 11, Awesome and Tanaka 12, DIY Revival 13, Cactus Jack Triple H 14, and Kurt Angle again with the best in the world shitting at number 15.
Call back.
There you go. There you go. Enjoy the season premiere of SmackDown on Fox for the very first time. It's been a hell of a week in wrestling, guys. And we are excited to cover whatever match that we're going to do next. I imagine it'll be a Twitter poll of some kind. I think it's time to do that again. So we will tweet out there. Most likely we'll tweet it during Monday Night Raw this upcoming week so that you can think about it while you're watching. Or not watching, totally your prerogative. Feel free,
You are your own person.
yeah, it'll last for a couple days, so you can watch it. You can vote on it while you're watching Dynamite or NXT, whichever one you choose to be watching next week.
Or while you're taking a shit.
Yeah,
Whatever you want to do.
great.
That's usually what I do.
Thank you very much. So, for those of you that listened to us this whole time, thank you so much. Feel free to share, rate us, review us, the whole thing. We really, really appreciate it. Send us any more match suggestions you have on Twitter at LastMatchCast. You can email us at lastmatchstanding@gmail.com. Anywhere you want to get in touch with us, find a way. Don't forget, Hope is our new social media manager, and she is going to love to interact with you guys on social media, and we cannot wait to see what you guys want next. We don't know what content we'll be on. We don't know what year we'll be on, but we know we're going to be ranking one of the 100 greatest wrestling matches of all time. As always, I'm Spencer.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Landon.
And this is Last Match Standing.